December 8th, 1982, 13:47 hours, Brian Matthews sat in his Bedford TK Gritter on the A6 near Brew, Cumbria, watching a Ford Transit van slide sideways across 3 lanes of ice before colliding with the central barrier. Temperature -9 Celsius, wind chill -18, visibility in the blizzard less than 20 yards. Standard procedure said return to depot, conditions too dangerous, let emergency services handle it. Matthews turned his Gritter around and drove toward the crash. In the next 14 hours, this 38-year-old Cumbria County Council Gritter driver would rescue 47 stranded motorists from what became known as the 1982 A6 whiteout. He'd improvise shelter, navigate by memory in zero visibility, and prove that sometimes the infrastructure workers are the emergency services. This is the story of Britain's most remarkable one-man rescue operation, and the Gritter driver nobody remembers. The storm nobody, predicted December 1982, was supposed to be mild. The Met Office forecast called for light snow across northern England. Maybe an inch, nothing the Gritters couldn't handle. They were catastrophically wrong. The storm that hit Cumbria on December 8th was a freak Arctic blast. A low-pressure system stalled over the Pennines, pulling Arctic air south at unprecedented speed. Temperatures dropped 12 degrees in 2 hours. Snow fell at rates exceeding 3 inches per hour. By mid-afternoon, the A6 trans-Pennine route was in chaos. The A6 connects the M6 motorway to the A1, cutting across some of Britain's highest and most exposed terrain. Elevations reach over 900 feet. In winter, it's brutal. In a blizzard, it's lethal. Brian Matthews knew the road. He'd been gritting it for Cumbria County Council since 1976. 6 winters, thousands of miles. He'd seen bad weather before. Nothing like December 8th in 82. The first rescue Matthews had been gritting since 600 that morning. Standard winter operations, clear the route, drop salt, keep traffic moving. By 1300 hours, conditions were deteriorating fast. Snow accumulating faster than he could clear it, visibility dropping, wind increasing. His radio crackled at 13:02. All units return to depot. A6 closure imminent. Repeat, return to depot. Matthews was near Brew, about 15 miles from his Penrith depot. He started the return journey, then saw the transit van crash at 13:47. He stopped, got out, checked the vehicle, driver unconscious. Passenger, the driver's wife, conscious but in shock. The van's engine had died, no heat. Temperature inside the vehicle already dropping. Matthews radioed depot. Vehicle accident A6 near Brew. 2 casualties requesting ambulance. The response, ambulances can't reach you. Road closed. Emergency services staging at M6 junction. Can you assist? Matthews looked at the couple. The woman was hypothermic, shivering uncontrollably. The man, head injury, probably concussion, was semi-conscious. Decision time. He got both people into his Gritter cab, turned the heater to maximum. Radioed again. 2 casualties in my cab, proceeding to M6 junction for handoff to emergency services. That's when he saw headlights behind him. Another vehicle stuck. Then another. Then 3 more. The A6 was filling with stranded motorists. The multiplication. What happened next was physics and panic. Vehicles on the A66 hit ice, lost control, stopped, tried to reverse or turn around, got stuck. Other vehicles came up behind, couldn't stop on ice. Chain reaction. Within 30 minutes, approximately 60 vehicles were stranded on a 3-mile stretch of the A6 between Brew and Stainmore. Cars, vans, a coach, 2 lorries. Matthews faced an impossible situation. He had 2 injured people in his cab, dozens more stranded in vehicles with no heat. Blizzard intensifying, temperature dropping, visibility near zero, emergency services unable to reach the area. He made a decision that broke every safety protocol. He'd evacuate everyone himself. The Gritter cab could hold maybe 5 people maximum if they squeezed. He had space for 3 more beyond the 2 injured. He loaded a family, mother and 2 young children, from a stalled Vauxhall. 5 people, Gritter struggling with the weight and conditions. Matthews started toward the M6 junction, driving by memory through near zero visibility. The journey, normally 15 minutes, took 45. He navigated by counting landmarks he couldn't see. Knew the road so well he could drive it blind, almost had to. He reached the M6 junction at 14:55, handed over his 5 passengers to waiting ambulances and police. Then did something nobody expected. He turned around and drove back into the storm. The system Matthews established a shuttle system. Gritter to stranded vehicles, load maximum capacity, drive to M6 junction, transfer to emergency services, return, repeat. Each round trip took approximately 1 hour in the worsening conditions. Load time 10 to 15 minutes per run, depending on how many people and their condition. Drive time 20-25 minutes each way through the blizzard. Run 1, completed 14 to 55, 5 people evacuated. Run 2, completed 1605, 4 people evacuated. Run 3, completed 1715, 6 people evacuated. Crammed cab, some sitting on laps. Run 4, completed 1840, 5 people evacuated. Run 5 completed 2015, 4 people evacuated. By 2015 hours, Matthews had evacuated 24 people. 23 more remained stranded on the A6. It was full dark. Temperature had dropped to -11 Celsius. The blizzard showed no signs of stopping. Matthews was exhausted. He'd been working for 14 hours straight, hadn't eaten since breakfast. The gritter was running low on fuel. The spreader had frozen solid hours ago. He wasn't gritting anymore, just driving. Standard procedure said stop. You've done enough. 24 people saved. Don't risk yourself for the rest. Matthews kept driving. The night shift runs 6 through 9 were in complete darkness through a blizzard. Matthews navigated by the instinct and memory. The gritter's headlights were nearly useless, just showing white wall of snow. He counted road features, knew where every curve, every rise, every landmark should be. Drove by feel as much as sight. Run 6 completed 21:45, 5 people, including an elderly couple from the stranded coach. Run 7 completed 23:20, 4 people. Run 8 completed 0045, 6 people, the last of the families with children. Run 9 completed 15, 4 people. By 02:15 on December 9th, Matthews had evacuated 43 people. 4 remained, 3 lorry drivers who'd stayed with their vehicles to protect cargo, and 1 stubborn motorist who insisted he could drive out himself. Matthews made one final run, convinced the holdouts, loaded all 4. Final run completed 0350 hours, December the 9th. 47 people evacuated, 0 casualties. 1 gritter driver, 20 hours of continuous operation. 9 round trips through a blizzard that had shut down all other operations. Matthews handed over his last passengers to emergency services, refueled his gritter, drove back to Penrith Depot, arrived 0445. His supervisor asked, "Where the hell have you been?" Matthews, A6 needed clearing. He filled out the standard daily log, mileage 247, grit used, minimal, spreader failed. Hours worked 22.5. Notes, assisted stranded motorists. Then he went home and slept for 16 hours. The aftermath. The 1982 A6 whiteout made local news. 47 rescued from blizzard ran in the Cumberland News. The story focused on emergency services coordination, mentioned council gritter assistance. Brian Matthews wasn't named, nobody interviewed him. The rescues was attributed to cooperative effort between emergency services and local authority. Matthews received no commendation, no award. His supervisor gave him verbal praise. Good work out there. That was it. The people he rescued didn't know his name. He'd loaded them into his cab, driven through the storm, handed them to ambulances. Professional, efficient, anonymous. One family, the mother and 2 children from Run 1, tried to find him afterward. Contacted Cumbria County Council. Were told we don't give out employee information. Sent a thank you card to the gritter driver A6 December 8th. It probably sat in a depot office somewhere. Maybe Matthews saw it, maybe not. The operation itself became a case study. Cumbria County Council revised its emergency protocols. New guidelines. Gritter drivers could assist with evacuation if emergency services were unavailable. Shelter prioritization. Families with children first. Navigation procedures for 0 visibility conditions. Matthews's improvised system became official doctrine. Without credit, without recognition. He continued gritting for Cumbria County Council until 1998. Retired at age 54, died in 2011 at 67. His obituary mentioned 22 years of council service. Didn't mention December 8th, 1982, the forgotten heroism. Here's what Brian Matthews did on December 8th to 9th, 1982. Worked 22.5 hours continuously in -11 Celsius blizzard conditions. Made 9 round trips through zero visibility whiteout. Drove 247 miles by memory and instinct. Evacuated 47 people in a vehicle designed to carry 1 person. Prevented multiple hypothermia deaths. Did it alone. Emergency services couldn't reach the area. Police were staged safely at the M6 junction. Fire and rescue were dealing with other incidents. Ambulances couldn't navigate the conditions. 1 gritter driver did what an entire emergency response system couldn't. Why isn't this remembered? Why isn't Matthews' name known? Because it wasn't dramatic enough. No helicopter rescue, no cliff-edge drama, no photogenic moment for newspapers, just a council worker in a salt truck doing run after run through a storm, bringing people to safety. Infrastructure heroism doesn't photograph well. It's repetitive. Technical, unglamorous. A gritter making 9 identical trips isn't a story, it's just work. But those 47 people went home. The family with 2 young children. The elderly couple from the coach. The injured transit driver and his wife. All of them alive because a gritter driver broke protocol and refused to leave them. The system question, the 1982 A6 whiteout exposed something about emergency response. Sometimes the emergency services are the infrastructure workers. Emergency services protocols prioritize responder safety. Don't enter conditions that risk rescue personnel. Stage at safe distance, wait for conditions to improve. Sensible, necessary, professional, but those protocols mean people can die waiting for safe conditions. Matthews didn't follow emergency services protocols. He followed gritter driver logic. The road needs clearing, people need moving, I have a vehicle that works in these conditions, so I'll do it. Not heroism, not bravery, just refusal to accept that people should freeze because protocols say it's too dangerous to help them. Modern Britain has better emergency protocols now, better coordination, better equipment, better training. The improvements trace partially to December 1982, to lessons learned from a night when emergency services couldn't respond and a gritter driver did instead. But the fundamental question remains, when infrastructure fails, who's responsible for rescue? When emergency services can't reach people, who goes? December 8th, 1982 answered, whoever's already there with a vehicle that works. Brian Matthews was there. His gritter worked, so he went 9 times. Through a blizzard for 47 pupila he didn't know, then filled out his daily log and went home. Standard procedure said it was too dangerous. Wait for conditions to improve, don't risk yourself. Matthews drove into the storm instead. 47 people lived because he did. The system learned, the protocols changed, the doctrine evolved, and nobody remembered his name. That's infrastructure. That's the reality of who keeps Britain running. Not dramatic, not glorified, just necessary. The storm ended. The road cleared. The rescued people went home. Matthews went back to work. Every winter after 1982, when conditions got bad on the A6, the Cumbria gritters went out. They followed protocols Matthews had improvised, used navigation techniques he'd developed, applied lessons from that night. His legacy lived in doctrine, not in recognition. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's how infrastructure heroism works. The system improves. The people forget. The work continues. Brian Matthews would probably say that's fine, so he wasn't doing it for recognition. He was doing it because 47 people needed help and he had a truck. Simple as that. The gritter ran, the storm raged. The people needed moving, so he moved them.